Hey guys, this is class for Wednesday, September 23rd, the day of the SATs. So you guys are asynchronous today. So you probably already know that because here you are watching the video. So for English 10 today, I'm going to explain what you need to work on. So you're going to go to Google Classroom. And when you're there, you're going to click on the Moth Hour. And that is the other part of your project that we haven't really worked on in class yet today, and that's what you're going to work on today in class. So go to the Moth Hour in your Google Classroom, open up the doc. So remember, the Moth Hour is there's those videos of storytelling, like we started watching the movie the audio of The Prom, one by Hassan Minhaj, and so you guys are going to continue with that on the Moth Hour document. From the top, it says, you will listen to several moth stories as we complete this unit. You'll be responsible for writing and delivering a story in the style of the moth, so writing your own story. There are no instructions for how you must write this story, but you will deliver it aloud, either by video presentation or in person. Not in person, but, you know. Your story has a 6-minute limit, must incorporate all aspects of learning from the unit to make the greatest story ever. There's no set of instructions for how to write your story, but the document will provide suggestions and how to plan it. Okay, so the first step, it says lesson 1, brainstorm and hair love. So don't worry about the hair love section right now. Just think about brainstorming. And you're thinking about a story that you think would make for a good story to tell someone. This can be anything. Literally, you have... the only restriction is making sure it's school appropriate. So this can be something about you. It can be about a birthday or when your grandma died or something you hate about high school or something like that. But it needs to have a plot that, you know, the rising action and falling action and a resolution to the story. It can be a story about someone you know. You can make up a story, anything like that. So that first part, lesson 1, part 1, you're just brainstorming stories of something that you might want to tell a story about. Then for part 2, you're watching that little video called Hair Love that is linked right there in the lesson 1. Part 1, there's a little link to Hair Love. It's a very quick video. I think it's about 6 minutes long, and it's just a really cute, sweet video. So watch that, and that's going to give you a short little look at a story going up and down in the rising action and falling action. And so you're going to, as part 2 of that lesson, you're going to complete the plot chart, the plot pyramid, with the exposition and rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. And there's a link there if you kind of forgot what some of those things are. There's a link to review that. And you're going to say what happens. Then, after that, after you plot out Hair Love, you're going to start plotting out your story, okay? So talk about how the story opens, what the rising action is, what the climax of the story is, and the falling action. The thing that I would most like to remind you about climax is basically the climax of the story is when things get the craziest. So when you're like in an action movie, when you're like, oh no, everyone's going to die. That's the climax. When there seems like that all hope is lost. Okay. Then you're going to do lesson 2. So you've completed lesson 1 of the Moth Hour, and now you're going to complete lesson 2. There's a link to a moth story called Never the Bridegroom, Never the Bride. That is one option of a moth story you can look at. You can also choose to go finish Prom, which we started in class. Okay, or you can go to the Moth website and find any other story that interests you. If that overwhelms you, just choose the one that's linked right there on the worksheet, Never the Bridegroom, Never the Bride. Okay, if you want to finish Prom, just Google Prom Moth. Even if you just clicked Prom Moth, you could probably find it. It's by Hassan Minhaj, okay? So I'll put a link to that also on Google Classroom, so if that's the one you want to watch, you can do that. So you pick a moth story that you're going to watch, and then you answer the questions, okay? It's just one page of questions. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 questions on it. It's really not a big deal. Answered the questions on that page for lesson 2, and that is all you need to do on the Moth Hour for now. We'll get back to it later in class. Then the other thing you need to make sure that you're doing is your scene study, which is you're comparing your book to your movie, okay? And you are doing parts 1 through 5, okay? So the Moth Hour parts 1 and 2 and scene study parts 1 through 5 should be completed by next class, okay? So Thursday, Friday, depending on your rotation. If you have questions, I am available all day Wednesday. You can email me, ctmcphee@fcps.edu. I will check my email every hour, okay? So if you email me, I will check it and get back to you within an hour, okay? We can set up a Google Meet. We can do like an office hours. You can just email me a question, anything like that. So I'm here to help you as you're doing that work. If there are any questions, please tell me. If you're having a hard time with the documents, we can do a Google Meet and you can share your screen with me and I can help you navigate the sheets. Yeah, so anything you guys need to know, just please email me. And if you haven't, if you're scene study, if you're having a hard time getting started, then make sure that you've watched your movie and reread the parts that you're going to do. Those are some things that you need to make sure be done. Also, your hook and background information homework is due Thursday, Friday. Okay, so we will see you back on Thursday or Friday. Have a nice asynchronous day, and I will see you guys then.